Well, that's what's happening. What is going on, Cantaloupes? There are bound to be a few surprises for every NFL team in this season. I'm Mike Cantalupo, and today we present one bold prediction for every NFL team in 2018. Arizona Cardinals, Larry Fitzgerald gets traded. I hope not, and Fitz says he wouldn't play for another team, but he's 35 years old, and this is probably one of his last years. The Cardinals will convince him to chase a ring. Arizona really isn't a contender. Fitz, he goes to a contender at the deadline. Let's see that happen. The Vikings, the Saints, the Jaguars, the Raiders, they're all possible destinations, and it could finally get him a ring. The Atlanta Falcons, Grady Jarrett gets double-digit sacks. He's one of the NFL's most underrated defensive tackles. He was great in 2017. 8 sacks through his first 3 seasons. 3 sacks on Tom Brady in Super Bowl 51. He's on the verge of breaking out. Jarrett gets 10 or more sacks this year. The Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson. Is it really that bold to predict that this is going to happen? The Ravens drafted him 32nd overall this year. Joe Flacco is on ice. If he makes one slip up, they will go to Lamar Jackson, and it's going to be a brand new offense that is going to succeed. The Buffalo Bills, Tre'Davious White leads the NFL in interceptions. He had 4 interceptions in his rookie year, 18 passes deflected. He's still in his second year, so quarterbacks are still going to throw his way. But he's about to become one of the NFL's elite cornerbacks. Look for him to get around 7-8 interceptions, which will lead the NFL. The Carolina Panthers, Torrey Smith has a 1,000-yard season. He's been in the league forever, but he's only had 1,000-yard season in his career. That came in 2013. He was a wide receiver 3 in Philly. He should be a huge weapon for Cam Newton with that speed. Carolina's wide receiver core has never been great, but Cam's been able to make the most of it. Cam can make Torrey Smith his guy. The Chicago Bears, Mitch Trubisky, a Pro Bowler. Yes, the Bears have given Trubisky so many big weapons to work with. Allen Robinson, Taylor Gabriel. They signed Trey Burton. And Jordan Howard is there in the rushing game. And now to really put them in the playoff conversation, they just traded for Khalil Mack. We've said this before. Hopefully Kevin White stays healthy for the first time. Great head coach for him. Trubisky is in prime position to succeed, and there's a chance he could be in, is it in Hawaii this year? I hope it's in Hawaii. It's better in Hawaii than Miami. The Cincinnati Bengals, Marvin Lewis gets fired. It's going to happen one day, eventually. Let's bank on it being this year. I don't know what else to say. If the Bengals don't make the playoffs, or if they lose their first playoff game, he has to go. The Cleveland Browns, Baker Mayfield shines. Is this really bold? I don't know. It's a first-round pick. It's first overall pick. I don't know. The Browns are expected to start Tyrod Taylor. Baker may need some time to develop, but the Browns haven't had a good quarterback since when? A very, very long time. I think Mayfield's poised for a very good rookie year if he plays. Jarvis Landry, Josh Gordon, he has that flash, that poise, that just demeanor. He has it. He has it. He's going to be great in the NFL. I can almost promise you. Dallas Cowboys, Jason Garrett gets fired. If the Cowboys don't have a successful season, I don't see Jerry Jones keeping him on the team for much longer. He could even be fired mid-season if the Cowboys aren't living up to expectations. Their offensive coordinator, Scott Linehan, will probably take over if that's the case. I'm not banking on it, but I'm saying if they get off to a slow start, watch him be gone. Denver Broncos, Bradley Chubb wins Defensive Rookie of the Year award. Now, he was the 5th overall pick, so it's not that bold, but they passed on quarterback prospects to get him. He'll be paired with Von Miller. He'll learn from one of the best of all time. Expect him to get double-digit sacks right away. He'll run away with that Defensive Rookie of the Year award, and he's going to be good starting immediately. The Detroit Lions, LeGarrette Blount becomes Mr. 1000. Reggie Bush was their last 1,000-yard rusher in 2013. The Lions rushing game is always horrible, honestly, but he's a 3-time Super Bowl champion. He was signed in the offseason. Now he's reunited with Matt Patricia. The Lions will finally run a more balanced offense for the first time in a very long time. Look for Blount to break their embarrassing running back streak. He will reach 1,000 yards in 2018. The Green Bay Packers, Jimmy Graham leads the NFL in touchdowns. Woo, this is good. 5-time Pro Bowl tight end. He was signed in the offseason. Graham had 10 touchdowns with the Seahawks in 2017. He and Aaron Rodgers will be a great duo. Rodgers has never had a truly great tight end to work with. I think he might lead the NFL. He might take over that Jordy Nelson role. Book it. Houston Texans return return to the playoffs. I don't think that this is very bold, but they finally have a franchise quarterback in Deshaun Watson who's going to be back and healthy. The defense will be great with J.J. Watt as their leader. Lamar Miller, DeAndre Hopkins, they're big-time playmakers. Give the Texans a wild card spot, if not the division. They're really a sleeper Super Bowl contender. The Indianapolis Colts, top 5 offensive unit. Andrew Luck is finally back. Hopefully he is healthy. All signs point to it. They have a great offensive-minded head coach. He was the mastermind of the Eagles offense last year. Marlon Mack is going to break out. Mark my words. The Colts probably won't be that good, but their offense will be pretty good. The Jacksonville Jaguars, Super Bowl champions. Sure, let's just put it out there. The NFL's best defense by far. Blake Bortles, good enough to not screw it up for that defense. Or Leonard Fournette, one of the best running backs in the game. The offensive line is going to be better now that they have Andrew Norwell. The Jaguars are the most talented AFC team. It's a small market team that might be having a Super Bowl parade. The Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes leads the NFL in yards. Woo! Let's go for it, right? We're just bold today. The kid's supposed to be the real deal. He has a great coach in Andy Reid. So many great receiving options. Travis Kelce, Kareem Hunt in the backfield, Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins. He has all the tools to be a star. He has the chance to take off right away. Don't be surprised if he has over 5,000 yards in total. We've seen crazier things. The Los Angeles Chargers, last place in the AFC West. Yeah, everybody's picking the Chargers to win it all, so I'm going to go the other way. I'm not buying it just yet. I think that the Raiders will be pretty good. We just forget one bad year. The Broncos have a top 5 defense, and they finally have an offense. The Chiefs, like I just said, have Patrick Mahomes. Maybe the Chargers, they're going to keep finding stupid ways to lose. I hope that people don't get injured again because the Chargers always have injuries. I don't want them to lose the AFC West. I just don't think that they're going to win. The Los Angeles Rams, best defense in 2018. They added Sue, Talib, Peters, as if Aaron Donald wasn't already scary enough to players. Wade Phillips will manage that unit just fine. The Rams will be the best defensive team in 2018 in yardage and in scoring. The Miami Dolphins, great rushing game. You have Kenyon Drake, who had an amazing sophomore season, 644 yards, 3 touchdowns in just a little bit of play. Frank Gore is still looking great. The man does not stop. You have Ryan Tannehill, who is going to be able to shine with a good running game. Look for 1,000-yard rushing seasons for Kenyon Drake, and then maybe 800 yards for Frank Gore to add on to top of that. Minnesota Vikings, Kirk Cousins doesn't live up to the hype. The Vikings gave him $84 million guaranteed. Cousins is good, but I don't think he is great, and I'm not sure he fits into that Minnesota offense. Don't expect the greatest of seasons from him. 20-something touchdowns, probably double-digit interceptions, but the Vikings will be fine. They have Dalvin Cook, Latavius Murray, and an elite defense. Don't expect Cousins to be the main source of their success, though. The New England Patriots, Brandon Cooks and Danny Amendola, they're both gone. Julian Edelman is suspended for the first 4 games of the season. Gronk is not as reliable to stay healthy as he is good. He's good. Will he be on the field? I don't know. The New Orleans Saints, Alvin Kamara leads the NFL in rushing. Drew Brees, he's getting older. He's still going to be great, but the Saints don't want to wear him out. Kamara was the 2017 Offensive Rookie of the Year, 728 rushing yards in 2017. The Saints will look to use him more, especially since Ingram is suspended for the first 4 games of the season. I think he's going to have over 1,200 yards rushing, and it will be good enough to lead the NFL. The New York Giants returning to the playoffs. I think this team won the offseason. Saquon Barkley drafted 2nd overall. Now they have an elite running back with Eli Manning and Odell healthy for a full season. Nate Solder, he was signed to anchor that offensive line. The defense is bound to get better. The Giants will win double-digit games and make the playoffs this season. The New York Jets, 2nd in the AFC East. The Jets had a busy offseason. They drafted Sam Darnold. They made some big free agent signings, Jermaine Johnson, Terrell Pryor, Avery Williamson. The Jets have a chance to surprise, and they will compete hard for a playoff spot. I would say look for about 9 wins, and they'll finish 2nd in the AFC East. Now, who will win the AFC East? The Miami Dolphins. Probably not, but a man can dream. The Oakland Raiders, hello AFC West. The Raiders were a huge disappointment in 2017, but it's a new year with John Gruden as their head coach. Derek Carr is primed to bounce back. The defense added better depth in their secondary. Don't forget Gruden's great leadership and player coach camaraderie. I think they'll win the division. The Philadelphia Eagles, almost a repeat. The 2004 Patriots were the last team to repeat. The Eagles kept most of their top players in 2018. All of them, didn't they, really? They'll win the NFC again, but they'll lose to the Jaguars in the Super Bowl. I don't know. I think that they'll make it to the Super Bowl, and I think they'll lose in the Super Bowl. But they'll win more. They have plenty of years left. The Pittsburgh Steelers, Jesse James beats the Patriots in Week 15 this time. Steelers, Patriots, they played in Week 15 last year, and now they play in Week 15 again. We remember that Week 15 touchdown rule. I think they'll get their revenge this time. Jesse James scores the game-winning touchdown. Big Ben beats Brady for just the third time in his life, which is crazy. It'll give the Steelers home field advantage in the playoffs. Sure. The San Francisco 49ers, 10 wins. The 49ers won't make the playoffs. I'm not sure. Jimmy G, he's the real deal. He'll give the 49ers a chance throughout the season, but the 49ers will finish 10-6 in that tough division, put them in a path to contend in 2019. Don't think they're going to be ready to really contend in the playoffs just yet. The Seattle Seahawks, Brandon Marshall resurges. He's 34 years old now. In 2015 and 2016, his seasons were forgettable, but he'll be the number 2 receiver in Seattle. Look for Brandon to have a Pro Bowl-like season. He has a great quarterback for the first time in a while. The Seahawks will use him a lot. Doug Baldwin will take most of the attention away from the best cornerbacks. If he still has that speed, he can go up against the number 2 cornerback, no problem. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the worst record in the NFL. I'm sorry, Buccaneers fans, but Jameis is suspended for 3 games. There's questions all over for this team. Their coach and Jameis Winston, there's friction there. The defense is awful. The ground game, not so good. The NFC South is tough to compete in. I really don't think they'll win more than 4 games. The Tennessee Titans, the NFL's best rushing offense. Marcus Mariota, the fastest quarterback in the game. He'll continue to run the ball a lot. Deion Lewis is coming off a career year. He and Derrick Henry, they are great. Yin and yang. They could both be 1,000-yard guys. The Titans will run away with the NFL's best rushing offense. 150 yards a game, no problem. The Washington Redskins, Josh Norman gets traded. Josh Norman has been all up and down in Washington. Just a mere 72-point grade from Pro Football Focus in 2017. He also has a hot temper. We know that. The Redskins will trade him mid-season. The Raiders, the Patriots, the Steelers, they're all possible contenders. Will be the first move in a rebuilding year for those Redskins. What are some of your bold predictions for the 2018 season? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, hit the like button. Until next time, I'm Mike Cantalupo. Thank you so much for watching.